Today I'll be working on 2007 Honda CRV, replacing the starter on it. It has, let's see, 2003, 203,000 miles. So a starter needs to be replaced and it's making a grinding sound. So let me turn the engine on, see, hopefully you can hear the grinding noise. Nope, that didn't work. Let me try again. There we go. Now you heard that. So there's like a grinding noise. Does not retract back in time. So it hits, in my mind, it hits the flywheel on the engine and it makes that grinding noise. So the starter is right underneath all this nonsense. So first I'm gonna do is take the battery off. I'm gonna take the air intake box off and the pipe connecting to it, because you really can't get to the starter underneath. There's no room to replace the starter underneath without replacing all this, without taking all this stuff out. So let's start on this. So this is the new starter I ordered on Amazon, through Amazon. They're not too expensive. And just get yourself a new one. And then when you're getting this, make sure you get yourself the gaskets. So this kit came, it's additional, I think 20 bucks or something, but it came with many different gaskets. I believe I would only need two. The manifold gasket, I believe that's that one, and then one of these gaskets for the manifold pipe connecting to exhaust pipe. Anyways, I don't know why there's a lot of different things on here. O-rings, throttle body mounting, MAP sensor O-rings. Anyways, this kit includes many different gaskets, not sure why, but anyway. So this is the brand, I guess. I believe it was like 80 bucks or something like that on Amazon. It wasn't expensive, so not expensive fix. Not expensive parts, but the labor, I mean, that's a different story. But okay, I got the battery out, the air intake pipe out. There's some antifreeze hoses that I had to take out, which is a little bit of antifreeze leak, but not too much. And now I need to take some of these hoses out. Now I take this cover off because I'll have to unbolt the manifold here. Yeah, quite a bit of work to get to the starter. It's not easy because doing it from underneath, there's no way. I can touch the starter from underneath, but there's no way I can be able to tighten the bolts or undo the bolts and everything like that. Okay, I got the exhaust manifold off. Hang on. This is the intake manifold. Okay, sorry, it's intake manifold, not exhaust. Exhaust is in the back. That's exhaust manifold. This is an intake. All right, I got it off. There was one stud that came loose. Didn't want to come off. Stud came loose. I got a little magnet for my screw bolts. But anyway, the worst thing about this one was getting this harness off from underneath. It was the hardest. I couldn't get this piece off, so I had to take this bracket off. For some reason I couldn't get this unclipped here. Anyways, that was the hardest part to get it's a little bit of antifreeze leakage, but no big deal. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna pull that thing up, kind of towards this way. Move this antifreeze hose out of the way and try to pull it out of the way this way. And then I'll be able to access the starter, which is right there. I know, what a spot for the starter. Okay, I got the manifold out. So this is what it looks like. You just gotta find a nice area to go through. So it pretty much came out this way like that, sitting right there, and it kind of, I dropped the bottom end, that end down, and then brought it through here, moved this hose back as much as possible, brought it right through here. It's just a perfect tight, but it comes out pretty good. So here's the starter. Here's the starter right here. So gotta get the starter. See, that's, now I can get to it. Before there was no way you can get to it. I know, that's what happens with a compact design, small cars, compact engine space, just everything's compacted together. You pretty much, in order to replace one part like this, you gotta take dozen parts out of here. So it's kind of unfortunate, but that's what it is. Okay, this is worth showing. It's like everything else, things disappear on you. So I was just using long wrench socket wrench to undo the bolt, starter bolt. They're pretty big, and I placed the long wrench right on this intake box, and I spent 5 minutes looking for it. It disappeared. I mean, I looked everywhere. I looked there, I looked in my toolbox, I thought down underneath the car, it fell somewhere else. Yeah, it's not. So don't put it here. What happens is it slides inside the intake. So if you take your hand in here, see that? See that? It slid right in there. So don't do that. You'll lose your mind looking for it. And yeah, funny stuff. Okay, I got the starter out. I had to tap it with the hammer because it sits in the grooves over there. I'll show you in a second. But there's an opening to the flywheel. But this is, so it sits in this groove. This is the old one. Sits in this groove, so I had to tap a hammer and get it out. But they are pretty much identical parts. There you go. For my new to used, these bolts are on the outside of the housing, and these are on the inside, which is probably a better design. See how it's doesn't want to. It's kind of rough compared to this one. This is so much better, so much faster going. Retracting, I guess, is so much easier, faster. And this is the back side. It's pretty much identical pieces. Had to break this plastic because I couldn't get the nut to turn, the wrench on the nut to turn, so I had to break this plastic. They finally figured it out and made a better connection here. But yeah, pretty much identical parts. Even this clip is here to connect the wiring harness. All right, let's put the new one into the back end, the engine. Okay, the new starter is in. Don't forget to put this wire back on here, and then the power. Where's this guy here underneath there? There's a washer and a couple other things in there go in there. I would be careful with that sensor right there. Don't damage it. It's hard to see it. That sensor right there. This bracket does not reach this harness, which is okay because it's hooked up here and it's really sturdy. It doesn't really move, so I'll be fine with it. The previous one didn't have this hooked up to the bracket either, so the old one, and that was fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. Anyways, time to put this manifold back in and reassemble this deal. All right, new gasket. Matches up with the existing pretty good. I feel like the old gasket is thicker in metal than this guy. Maybe it just feels like that. But anyways, new gasket go here. There we go, just like so. I'll put this on after I get that manifold in there. Okay. I'll double check, make sure I'm not missing anything up there as far as connecting hoses, electrical, whatever, before I put this back in. Okay. I thought that no matter which way you install this gasket, it's gonna work, but it's not. As you can see, I install it like this, and the bolts don't line up. As you can see, there's a mark. I'm tried, so it actually needs to be like this. So yeah, so you gotta be mindful which direction the gasket is going. So this little clip here, this little corner matches with this little corner. All right, this is curved, so this is curved. I had it the opposite, okay, like that, and it would the bottom bolts would not align with these bottom holes, so be careful on that. Okay, I got everything installed and bolted down. This plastic cover, battery, air box cover, and everything there. The biggest thing, I guess, out of this is make sure you go and all the hoses are hooked up and clamped, because there was a lot of hoses was taken off from this intake, air intake box. Lots of hoses. There's some antifreeze leakage because some of these pipes had to be taken off. I'm gonna check the antifreeze level in a second, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. Couple hour job, but yeah, it's interesting how they install this starter way inside, like buried inside underneath the manifold. But anyways, I'm gonna test it, start it up, and see what happens. Okay, let's start it up and see what happens. There you go. I'm gonna try it again. There you go. I'm gonna try again. Yep, no more noise. One more. Perfect. Looking good. Sounds good. New starter works great.